Now, since we have the TypeScript file in place, we need to focus on building the HTML part of our contact form. So we'll build something similar to this. So let's go back to our project and navigate to contact component HTML file. And first, let's remove this contact works p tag. And we should also increase the visibility. And now let's start building the modal dialog. So div MDB modal #frame MDB modal. Please note that we intentionally set the frame over there and should match the view child element as frame in the TypeScript file. Using this approach, we'll reference the modal dialog from the TypeScript file inside this HTML div tag. Class modal fade left, ID frame. We need a tab index -1, and for the role, dialog. Area label by, of frame, area hidden true, and we close this div. So inside this div we need to construct the actual form. So let's start using the div class modal dialog, overall document, and inside this we'll need the div class modal content, and inside the modal content div we'll need to set the div class modal header to construct the header, text center, h4 class modal title, since we need a title for all dialog, v-100, font weight bold, and for the title let's go with the contact form. Now div class modal body mx-3. We're building the body of our contact form. Div class MD form MB-5. Let's set in place an icon using MDB icon fast icon user, and of class prefix gray text. We close the MDB icon. Input type text. ID, let's set form 34. class form control, MDB input, MDB validate form control, and the validation should be made on the contact form model name. So this matches the contact form model name that we set in the TypeScript file. We need to set a label for this input text. So label for form 34, and we'll go with a name. And in case of any errors with the contact form model name, we need to gestionate this using MDB error, ngIf, contact form model name, invalid, and contact form model name dirty, or contact form model name touched. Let's close this properly. And let's also handle the case where we didn't receive any issues on validating the contact form model name. So MDB success. We'll need to use the ngIf statement, similar to the MDB error. So ngIf, contact form model name, valid, and contact form model name dirty, or contact form model name touched. So we set in place the input for the user, and we are handling also the cases where this input received any issues, so it was not validated properly, or it was validated with success. Okay, so it looks good now. We have the name here, MDB error, and MDB success. So once again, we handle this part of our form. We need to move to the second item in our form. So div class MDBootstrap MB-5. We'll set an icon, MDB icon fast icon envelope, class prefix, great text. We close the MDB icon tag. The input type will be email this time. ID form 29. Class form control, MDB input. And we also need a MDB validate for the form control, and this time we need to validate the email corresponding input. So this is called, if you recall in a TypeScript file, contact form model email. And let's copy this statement, MDB error and MDB success, and let's only change this contact form model name to contact form model email. So we will handle using this approach the error and also the success features while validating this email statement. Now let's build the third element in our form. So div class MDForm MB-5. We need a MDB icon, pass icon, and we'll use tag. As prefix, gray text, MDB icon, input type, we'll go this time with text, ID form 32, class form control of course. We'll set validation also for this field, so MDB input, MDB validate, form control, and the name is contact form model subject. Let's set a label for it. So label for form 32. The name will be subject. And once again, let's copy paste the MDB error and MDB success corresponding tags. And we'll also need to change the contact form model email to contact form model subject. So let's do this. And also for the MDB success. Okay, good. So the third field is created now. Now for the fourth one, div class MDForm MDB icon, pass icon. Of pencil alt, class prefix, gray text, and let's close the MDB icon tag. Now we'll use the text area type of text. ID, let's go with the form 8. And for the class, MD text area, form control, rows 1, MDB input, and of course the validation should be set in place. Form control, of contact form model message in this case. Enclose the text area tag. Now let's set a label for it. So label 4, form 8. And we'll go with the message statement. Of course, we need to handle the validation here. So I copy pasted and we'll just change the contact form model subject with contact form model message. So paste it here, here, and also for the MDB success. Now let's save the file, compile successfully, and you see that we encounter an issue. Error occurs in template, so we have an issue related to the form control, and of course we need to fix this. So in order to fix this, we need to navigate to the app module TypeScript file, where all our modules are registered for our Angular application. So over here, and under the imports statement, let's import actually the reactive forms module, since we will need this for our form validation. And you see now that we compiled successfully the code. Now, since we have all these 4 fields in place, it's time to also create a specific button that we need to click on in our form. So let's do this. So div class modal footer d-flex justify content center, and let's close this div. And we need to set in place a button, of course, so similar to this button to actually respond to our form submission process. So this button will only be visible if the validating form is valid. You've seen in the TypeScript file that we have the form of our Angular app set in place for the validating form specific variable. So we set a bunch of properties: MDB button color primary, class waves light, MDB waves effect, and we'll also need an icon for this. So icon paper minus plain, class ML -1, and close the MDB icon. Let's compile the source code and of course save this contact form. Now let us see how this will look. And in fact we don't see anything, since the frame is not visible in the UI, since we don't have any specific logic to expose the frame where we navigate to the contact form. So let's use an Angular lifecycle method, ng after viewing it. So this frame model show, since the frame model is the view child element that gestionates the contact form, and we have an issue here on the subject. So let's fix this to see what's the problem in the HTML side of our contact form. So I'm checking for the subject. So this is email. And for the subject, on the class we missed the X, so it should be prefix. Okay, so the subject is fixed, but we'll also need to fix the email since we forgot to basically add a label for the email. So let's add this. So label for form 29. Let's go with email. Compile successfully. And the form is in place, name, email, subject and message. And we see that we don't have a button at the bottom, but if we complete all the details, the button will appear. So you see that we have the validation already in place if we don't set the name, email, subject or message. I'm talking here about the red lines. So let's add a specific name. You see that the red line turned to green. If you don't add a valid email, this is marked also in the UI. Now using a valid email, the red line turned to green, the subject and the message, and you see the button appeared, but we need to fix the label for the button, the actual text that should appear on top of the button. So let's do this. So over here we need to add a send. Let's do another text on our contact form. So Alex, gmail.com, subject, message, and you see that we have another typo over here. In this way you will see how many errors you might get while working on the real project. So you can fix this by changing the MDB icon from far to fuzz. So over here the typo, and now everything should be in place. The final test. So Alex, an email, subject and a message, and the send button is in place using also the corresponding icon.